Literally. They were waiting outside for me to get here.
Appreciate everyone joining us today. As a reminder to our fans, limited tickets are still available this week at ClemsonTigers.com or 1-800-CLEMSON. May have an additional announcement toward the end of the press conference today, but for now, I'll turn it over to Coach Sweet.
All right. Appreciate that, Ross. Good morning, everybody. We are pumped to be back in the Valley. We got a couple weeks here at home, and so we're excited about that. It's hard to believe. I was telling our guys yesterday we got 3 home games left. That's it. So, you know, all these opportunities are special and something that we look forward to all year long. And so really excited about back-to-back home games coming up and another night game, homecoming. It'll be a lot of fun. I always enjoy getting out with the students this week and seeing the progress on the floats and watching the Habitat home get built. That's always a lot of fun. I know it's raining, but I don't think that's ever slowed anything down around here. I know our students are doing a great job, and it's going to be an awesome weekend. But Boston College is 4-3. They've had 2 last-minute losses to Louisville and Wake Forest, 2 games they easily could have won. They did not play well at all versus Kansas, and looks like Kansas might be a little bit better too than maybe people want to give any credit to. But they really did not play well in that game, just one of them games. And Kansas had a good plan, did a good job executing, made some plays. But the Louisville game, the Wake game, could have gone either way, literally. And so very competitive group. Obviously, their quarterback got hurt. It's been a challenge for them, but very impressed with what they've done to kind of rally back. And that game last week, I mean, it's like watching 1990 all over again. When you watch that tape, that's I mean, it just ain't no tricking nobody. I mean, it's downhill football and big boy pads, big boy football this week. So this is old school, and there's a certain physicality and mindset that you got to have in a game like this. So I'm actually really excited about it. I'm anxious to see how our guys are going to respond to the challenge that BC is going to present, because it is going to be a challenge. They're 6th in the country in rushing the football. We're 10th in the country in rushing. We're 10th in total offense. They're 11th in total offense. So you got 2 offenses that run the ball well, and they're number 1 in fewest sacks in the country. Part of that is they run the ball a lot, and their passing game is play action, sprints, boots, screens, and it's not a lot of drop back. They're not a team that gets a lot of 3rd and longs, but they're very efficient in what they do, and then their tempo. That's kind of an unusual thing with all the tight end sets that they have, for them to all of a sudden go tempo and run the power. So it's a little unique that way, but mostly a 12 personnel team. But again, it's run, play action, boot, sprint, screen, and some tricks mixed in there as well. They do a really nice job. But those 2 backs, 250 and 240, and that's if they're accurate. They might be fudging on those. It's almost November, so these are 2 big backs that like contact, that like to move the pile, that like to get the ball, and they just take a lot of pride. And I mean, you give Steve a lot of credit for that. They're good up front, well coached, well coordinated, and but they're gonna line up and run the ball. And you got to have a mindset to win your matchup, and you can't grow weary, because they're not. They're just gonna keep handing it off, and you got to stop them. And that's what happened in that game last week. They just wore them down. And they rushed the ball for 429 yards on NC State, and NC State was giving up 67 yards a game rushing coming into that game. So that's what these guys are capable of doing. And then over on the defensive side, they're doing the same things. They're man coverage. They've don't have great depth up front, so they've created some pressure with their blitz schemes. And I think the biggest thing against them, their defense, is trying to stay out of 3rd and longs. They do a great job on 3rd down, especially 3rd and long situations. with their coverage and all their double rat stuff that they got going on. So we got to do a nice job of us being efficient on offense and trying to find a way to stay on schedule and stay out of some of those third and longs where you see some of those exotic things that they like to do. But a lot of man coverage. They line up and challenge you. Physical up front. Backers are good players. It's kind of wild for me because there's two guys on their D-line that started last week that I have a connection with. And that's kind of unusual when you think about Boston College. Obviously, Richard Yeargin. Coached him and love Richard, and what a great story he is. In fact, I texted with him last week just how getting ready for Louisville and watching tape and watching him play. It was pretty inspiring to be able to see him play. And I know he's worked really hard and started last week against NC State, and so I know he's excited to come in and I look forward to seeing him. But really proud of Richard, and then the Ram kid, 99. His dad and I played together at Alabama. He's little TJ Ram. He's from Alabaster, Alabama. Went to Thompson High School, and but his dad Thomas was a great player at Alabama. Was a big 6'7" defensive lineman, and a good friend of mine. So got two guys right there that are got a little connection with, but. It's a challenge for us, but we're looking forward to it. They're +7 in the turnover margin. I think that's another huge stat. We're back on the plus side. I think we're +2 now, so hopefully we can keep that trend going. But look forward to it. And then this is our breast cancer game. And so got the pink on today. We'll have a lot of pink out there this weekend. And just as always, a great week for us. Super excited about what's going on with our foundation. But when you talk about breast cancer, first of all, 1 in 8 women are going to deal with it. It's a 41,000 plus women will die this year from breast cancer, and it's the most commonly diagnosed cancer for women in this state, and just something that we've always been passionate about, and this game in particular is a big deal. And I really want to thank the WCCP folks. They've just been amazing. I know I'm going on Kelly and Kwok's show tomorrow and gonna hang out with them for a while. It's just awesome, the support that we've been able to get from so many donors, and the foundation since its inception. We've given over $5.5 million away since 2010, and that's pretty amazing. And that just comes from so many people that are giving, and the money's been able to make a huge difference in this community. There's no doubt about it. Just in this November, when we do our grant luncheon, we're going to give a little over $1 million away in November to over 160 different charitable organizations, local in the state of South Carolina here, people that really depend on it, and it's awesome. And we've given a little over $1.25 million of that. Has gone to breast cancer research. We helped fund the first mobile mammography bus, and then we just did another $250,000 grant to get a second bus. And these two buses go out into, Anderson, Oconee, Pickens counties, and they go into a lot of these underserved, underprivileged communities and do mammograms for women. So it's just a really awesome thing, again, to be able to use our platform in a positive way, and it's the all-in team because everybody is truly, all in and a part of it. And so just really can't thank the folks enough out there who give. So many people a lot of people I know, a lot of people I'll never know. And it's not really a day that goes by that I don't sign some type of tax receipt for somebody that has donated to the foundation. It could, from California to all over this country. We get money, and it's anywhere from $5 to whatever, and it's just it's pretty amazing, especially to think back to where we were when we sat down and started the foundation back in, forming it in 2009 and really getting it going in 2010 and raising $90,000 that first year to where we are this year. So really appreciate all the help, and then again WCCP and the Tigers for Tata's campaign, and got the armbands, and I know we got shirts and pins and all those things that are out there, and really cool stuff. The pins this year have got the little national championship logo, so hopefully everybody want to get one of those and look forward to a special week and hopefully making a difference. And then also I want to thank and congratulate our women's volleyball team and soccer teams that they, I think, used their match this past weekend to raise money as well. And so they both got wins and appreciate their support on this event. And with that, I'll take questions.
Coach, how does Dillon compare to some of the great backs that you've gone up against, Dalvin Cook, James Conner, Gurley, et cetera?
Well, he's just different. I mean, he's a very different guy. Maybe more like Connor than Dalvin. Dalvin is a different type of guy. Dillon is I mean, he's 250 pounds, and he's not. He's going to go through you. Dalvin can go through you. He's powerful, but he'll go around you and leave you. Dillon will just drag you. You might be on him, but he's dragging you. He's just a big, physical, old school back. He's one of those guys that you see at the NFL every week. So it's a challenge. I think it's a big challenge for especially our back seven guys. A lot of those guys that want to play on Sunday. This is what they're going to see every week in that league. Backs like this. So this is get them big boy pads out.
I was watching their game last week too, and it's interesting you said the weary part that I felt like I was almost watching Georgia Tech just in the pure desire to run the football.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same offense, but is that
Yeah. Like I said, it was more like for me going back to 1990. They will do some shotgun though, but they're under center too. But just the physicality and it's right at you. It's they're running the zone, they're running power, down and arounds. I mean and they just keep doing it. And I mean it's just hard. I mean you have to fit everything right, and you got to win some one-on-one tackles. And then they got these big bruising backs. These aren't little guys that they just move the pile, and they just keep coming, and then it's play action. That's what we had for years and years and years. Because you got to stop the run. So here comes the play action and the screens off of it and the boot throwbacks and all those things that well coordinated teams have with that style of play. So. But yeah, that's what they're built to do, and I think they've done a great job of using their personnel.
How they use their tight ends has always been really unique. What do you guys see when they put in those big three-package tight end personnel?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, they're just trying to create extra gaps. It's a mindset. It's hat on hat, and then they're trying to a lot of bunch sets, a lot of close alignments. Trying to get your eyes in the backfield and big plays off the play action. That's really what they're trying to do.
What have you seen from Braden Galloway's progression kind of behind the scenes?
Braden, he's been good. I mean, he's good. He's practicing every day. He's over on the scout team. He's had a great attitude. I've been really pleased with how he's handled his situation this fall. I've been very engaged with the team and got a smile on his face, and he's just excited to eventually be able to get back out there.
About 20 snaps a game for Jordan McFadden right now. Could you just address his progression a little bit? And is he a guy that could maybe switch positions in the future just because of having Jackson ahead of him at left tackle?
Yeah, I don't think he'll switch positions. I think he'll probably be our right tackle next year. He's playing both. He's playing right and left, but I mean he could go inside and play. I think he's one of those guys that could play any position, but he's probably that guy that'll be that right tackle for us. Probably going into the spring for sure. But he's doing a good job, just getting better and better, and really excited about his potential and his development to this point.
Coach, you have 10 interceptions already this year, just 12 all of last year. You said going into the season you thought this would be your best back seven ever. Is that just kind of a result of the experience that you have back there in the secondary?
Yeah, no question. I mean, we're deep and smart, and guys have played a lot of football. They care. They prepare really hard every week. I was just sitting here yesterday. I was walking through, and and 4 or 5 of them sitting in there watching tape, coaching themselves, and that's pretty cool. But that's the type of guys they are. They're just a very mature group. Those backers and safeties and corners that we got, and it's proven to be the case. We're finishing. Last year we didn't make a lot of that. We had our hands on a lot of balls. We didn't finish some of them. This year we're finishing a lot of those plays. So really proud of those guys. I think we're 9th in the country in takeaways. So hopefully we can, do a little better job of taking care of it on the offensive side and continue that plus climb.
Even though last year's D might have had more great individual players, do you think as a collective unit this group is better than last year's group, or at least could be by the end of the year?
It's a day-to-day deal. If you look at it today, the statistics say that they're better, but that group, they don't. The season's, we got a long way to go. But I think we're only giving up about 12 points a game, so we're a little ahead of where we were last year at this time. So just from a statistic standpoint, on paper they're a little better, but we'll see. That's a long way to go. That bunch was pretty special. And they got better and better and better and better and better, and that's the challenge with this team. Are we going to improve like last year's team? You win a game 45-10, and you only give up 10 points, and you think you played pretty good, and then you watch the tape and you go, "Dadgum, we had 20, the most missed tackles we've had all year." And we got some alignment things. We just got a lot we got to fix. Now, the good news is our effort is overcoming some of that, so you don't get exposed for it. But make no mistake, we've got to get better on both sides of the ball. So, we'll see. We'll see if they make the same strides that last year's defense did, because they had some struggles early that cost us, but they got better and better and better and better as the season went. And then by the end of the year, we were awesome. So we'll see if this group makes the same type of growth.
Do you expect Xavier Thomas to be back full go this weekend?
Yeah, we'll see today. I don't know. About Xavier right now. We got to go through a progression, and today's the first day of full pads, and tomorrow shell. So it's a day-to-day thing.
Coach, I thought it was interesting after DK's muffed punt on Saturday, you went right back to him instead of putting Omari in. Does that just show the confidence that you have in him back there, and how's his turf play going?
Same thing. He's doing a little better, and we'll get him out there today a little bit more. They ran him pretty good last night, so today will be a little more challenge for him, and we'll see. He's probably day-to-day as well. But, yeah, I got confidence in DK. Just did a poor job of, he was kind of up and down with his eyes and lost track of the ball. But we were very fortunate, and, he's definitely a guy we trust.
Dabo, yesterday, K'Von Wallace told us of Andrew Booth's screw-up that he put it on himself. He said, I haven't done a good enough job maybe as a mentor, and he said he felt like he took that one on the chin, K'Von did. What does that say about K'Von's leadership, and what kind of a off-the-field guy has he become for you guys?
K'Von's a great leader, and that doesn't surprise me for him to try to deflect some things to him. That's just kind of who he is. I'm super proud of him. He's a captain for us this week, as a matter of fact. But he's been a fun guy to watch mature and grow and transform. Works really, really hard. Takes care of his body. Studies the game. He's just really grown into a heck of a player, but a great leader as well. And I thought the team did a great job in handling Andrew, and Andrew did an awesome job. He's obviously embarrassed and disappointed, and that just is absolutely unacceptable, period. And, a great kid, bad moment, and he'll learn from it.
Anything further on Andrew's punishment? Are you going to sit him at all? We had to sit for a half.
Yeah, he'll sit the half. He'll be ready to go second half.
But you would use him in the second half. You're not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
sit him anything.
no. We made him ride the bus home in his coat and tie, so it was a long ride home for him. He had plenty of time to think about it, and he's handled it right. And he's a freshman. I've had zero issues. Now, you handle everybody different. I may have another guy somewhere down the road, but he might be he may have no money in the bank with me. He might be a different guy, Everybody's different. So I can just tell you, Andrew's one of the best kids we got on the team, and I've never had a problem with him, and don't expect I ever will. And he's suffered the consequences, and we're going to move on. He's sat the rest of that half, and going to sit this half and be ready to go second half.
We've talked a lot about the makeup of this team being 2/3 from freshmen and sophomores. Does it make it easier or more difficult for this team to police itself with so much youth?
Well, probably more difficult, I would think. Would be the easy answer there. I mean, I don't really have any data, but typically when you've got a really young team and not as many veterans, it's usually a little bit more of a challenge. But this team's been easy. They really have. They've been a good group about their business. We don't have a ton of seniors, but those seniors and juniors are very committed, very experienced, and they come to work every day. They show up, they practice, they prepare well, and our effort's been really good all year long. And I think the young guys are learning. It's just a daily challenge to teach because we got a lot of guys that we have to, reinstall the program with. Even though these guys here, they got it, those guys, you're in a different stage, and our job is to meet them where they are, and because they only know what they know. So you got a group of guys up here in calculus, but this group back here hadn't learned algebra yet, right? And so we've got to reteach the basics, and then you count on the leaders on your team to help you with that. Might be a little private tutoring going on from time to time to help bring them along and close that gap, because there is a gap in your team from an experience standpoint, a knowledge standpoint, and understanding of your program standpoint. So it's a daily challenge.
In all of your years here, is there anyone that Isaiah Simmons reminds you of? No, he's a very, very, very unique talent.
At what point did you realize he had the chance to be this kind of a player?
Watching him on tape in high school, I thought he had a chance to be really good. And then when I met him and got around him, I really loved the makeup of him, his character and all those things. But pretty early on when he came in here, just his raw athleticism, but he was like a young giraffe running around out there. He was, elbows and knees. He didn't really know a lot of football. And I think he was a guy just excited to go to college. But just quickly, the one thing that showed up early was his physicality. He likes it. And that showed up quick, and just his pure athleticism. But he needed to get in the weight room. He needed to learn a lot of football. He needed to learn how to prepare, learn how to practice. There was just a lot of development that needed to take place for him. We redshirted him and threw him in there in a power hour and kind of transformed his body. And then he matured a little bit and got a little more serious about it. And then as a redshirt freshman, he was okay, not very consistent. Showed up on special teams big time that redshirt freshman year. And then, kind of by the end of the year was getting a little more opportunity. And then last year as a redshirt sophomore, he got his first chance to start and was a little shaky early. I think he realized that he was going to have to prepare at a whole nother level. And he just has gotten better and better and better. So game has slowed down for him. He's having a lot of fun, and he's one of those guys that, as you see, we've got a lot of flexibility in how we can use him.
Has Chad Morris ever said that, boy, I wish Bielema had offered that guy?
What's that?
Has Chad Morris ever said to you, boy, I wish Bielema had made an offer to Isaiah?
No.
Was his dream school?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. When we were recruiting him, it was Nebraska and Michigan. That was the two schools that we were competing against. But no, Chad's never said that to me.
Isaiah said that he's oftentimes too hard on himself. Can you give us any insight or any examples, maybe on the practice field or in the film room, where he's maybe a little over the top on being his own worst critic?
Not really. He's really kind of like this all the time. Sits right there, where David's sitting there, and that's Isaiah's seat.
Better athlete than David?
Slight, it's close. But he's really kind of the same guy, I mean, early on he was a guy that like I said, I just don't think he really knew how to prepare, and I don't think he was just as serious about it. I think he's a very smart guy, but just think he really handles himself like a pro. He really does. Just how he goes about his business day in and day out, and he's going to be a great pro. He's going to be something special. He's what everybody's looking for because he's that hybrid guy. He's long. He can cover. He can play first, second, third down. He legitimately could go play safety. He's a guy that could probably make all conference for us at probably 3 different positions if you could play him there. He's just a really good player, but I'm sure he's tough on himself. But one of the things I love about Isaiah is he always has a great spirit to him. The team loves him. He's just got he's just got this great spirit all the time. You can't help but smile when you get around him. I don't ever see him down. I don't ever see him mad. He's just a happy kid and takes his job serious. I mean, he really takes a lot of pride in doing his job over and over and over and trying to please Brent. Brent's done an awesome job with him. Brent's he's not the easiest guy to play for because he's going to really challenge you every single day. But I think Isaiah has thrived with that.
I think you noted that Nebraska and Michigan wanted him as a wide receiver.
Well, I think Michigan offered him on defense. I think Nebraska offered him as a wideout. I told him quickly, I was like, "You're not a wideout. So if you come here, you're going to have to play defense." That was one of the things I wanted him to understand early. You're not going to play wideout here.
But along those lines, and you've had a bunch of guys that you bring him in. Maybe someone didn't want him, and he flew over a bunch of schools to come to you. But to know that this is a guy you can make fit, is the physicality part, is that the bottom line thing that you look for when he's a sophomore and junior in high school? Is there a checkpoint where you can find that diamond in the rough that maybe makes it easier for you to have confidence in that?
Yeah, I mean, we had lost those DBs after that 15 season, and we had to find some guys. And he was just one of those guys that had not committed anywhere. And watching the tape, it was one of the first things that jumped out was, okay, this kid's a natural football. I mean, he's physical. It's an easy thing to see. Yeah, when you see those guys sneaking up on him, you're probably going to move on to the next guy because it's hard to coach that. I mean, you either have that or you don't, and that was an easy thing to see. And just his, he could run, his range, and showed up on tape. And they played him on both sides, and he was a track guy as well. So we had verified speed and things. And so when we went out there and saw him, then you meet him physically, and you go, whoa, this guy's with that physicality and his ability to run. We got a chance to really develop him. Not really sure what he is. Is he a safety? Is he a nickel Sam? What is he? And but we'll figure it out. The biggest thing is, and he was a pretty highly recruited guy. I think he was like a 4-star guy or something like that. I'm not. Maybe some of the recruiting folks will know. He was one of them. I think he was at least a 4-star. But he was probably going to go to Michigan or Nebraska, and then he came in here and visited and loved it. And thankfully, he came.
I know you said Nyles probably played his best game on Saturday. Where have you seen him kind of grow the most this season?
Yeah, he definitely played his best game. I thought he did a great job just staying on his feet. Protection, recognition, block destruction, just being physical, doing a great job with his eyes. He's improved his pass rush. He's just gotten better in a lot of ways and just more and more confident. He's a physical kid naturally. But he did a great job last week. That stretch scheme that they ran, they do a good job of cutting you down backside, and they can split your defense in a half in a heartbeat. And that little back they had was quick. And I thought Nyles did a really, really good job of defeating the blocks and staying on his feet and keeping our defense intact. But made some plays, and he's just grown up. He's taking advantage of his opportunity. He's been through a lot. He's had to be patient. He's had injuries. He's had a lot of things he's had to deal with. And I just think he's settled in and is starting to play with a lot of confidence.
How peculiar is it for you to see a player who you used to coach on the other side?
It's I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've had that. Might be the first time for me. I'm not really sure. I have to really think about it. I don't know that I've experienced that. I was trying to think even at Alabama. Take that back. I think we had one kid at Alabama that went to Tennessee. Yeah, it's different. But, you know, I love Richard. I mean, he's one of my favorite people and was just a great kid, great family, a model student. You know, just an unfortunate situation for him, you know, going into that, I guess it was his 4th year. He was really primed to really be a big factor for us. And he just, you know, he had that car wreck, and he's lucky to be alive, really. And he knows that. I mean, just it's amazing. It is amazing, you know, from where he was with his injury. And then, you know, he was out a whole year, and then he tried to come back, and he just couldn't quite do it. And he's out another year, and then he ended up having another little surgery that I think maybe because I think he was done. I mean, he was like done with football, and he was a student coach for us his last year. But I do think that's one of the great things that the NCAA has allowed is that 6th year. If you were redshirted, then you had another year that you lose, you can get that year back. You know, a kid like Blake Vincent, for example, you know, he technically can get this year back. I think that's a good thing that the NCAA's put in place. So it's wild, but I'm super proud of him. Talked to him several times throughout the process, and you know, I talked to Dazio several times about him, and you know, it was the right fit. Biggest thing was just making sure that he went to a spot where he could play, and there was a real need for him with his situation, and so it's worked out. And really watching all the tape, he's gotten better as the season has gone, and now he's really playing well for him. Started for him last week, and he's technically sound, does a good job, and you know, so we texted a little bit back and forth last week. Told him we were going to double team him the whole game, and so it'll be good to see him. Really, just happy for him. I mean, it's a real inspirational story because I know what all he went through for 2 years, and you know, his football was done. So I was pretty surprised when he called me back in, I guess it was May. He called me back in May to tell me that he was thinking about maybe trying to play again on a 6th year. And so we talked through it, and, you know, the rest is history. But happy for him. Happy for him.
Coach, Levon Kirkland being enshrined in the Ring of Honor before the game, how well have you gotten to know Levon over the years?
Pretty well. You know, he's been around a lot. He actually worked for the university for a while, and you know, just I was a fan of his before I came to Clemson. You know, just knew about him as a player, but he's just he's a sweet spirit. He's a great man and a great father. You know, he lost his wife to cancer a few years ago, and he's coached. He's done a little bit of everything, but very deserving of this honor, and a great representative of Clemson University, Clemson football, in every sense of the word. I think he's one of probably the most respected, one of the most well-liked guys amongst his peers. You know, just a great gentleman, and I know it's going to be a great celebration with he and his family this weekend.
What was that call like for you with Richard? Were you surprised that he was giving it another shot?
Yeah, I was surprised. We talked about it, and you know, because I was a little worried, you know, but he had another little procedure done, and he just felt great, and he just felt like that he could do it, and he you know, he wanted to give it a shot, and he really just, you know, wanted to talk about it. He wanted some counsel, he wanted my blessing too, and I just we talked through all the aspects, and then you know, he ended up at BC. I ended up talking to Dazio about him a couple times, and you know, it worked out. So he's he's doing a good job. But again, it's pretty cool to see him back on the football field in a uniform, because he'd been through a lot in 2 years of not playing football. To see him, it's pretty impressive, to see him where he is. And again, from the beginning of the year to where he is now, I'm really, really proud of him. It's not like he got spring practice, it's been literally over 2 years since he's played ball. And now you're out there, and then he's at Boston College, and their style of play, and, from a physical standpoint. So I think it's just been great for him and his confidence, and just hopefully being able to finish and walk away, maybe with a little more peace.
With what you lost off the front seven from last year, has this defense in any way exceeded your expectations of what they could do halfway in?
I don't go into the year and say, okay, all right, by this time we need to be the 8th ranked defense. So I just expected us to play tough and play fast. I think they've done a great job. I didn't really, like I said, have any numerical expectations, but they've probably exceeded everybody else's expectations. I just felt like we'd be a good defense, and felt like our back seven would be the best that we've had, and a strength of our team. And I think that's exactly what's happened, and allow us to grow up those guys up front. We've got more sacks than we had this time last year. We're doing a good job. We've certainly got more turnovers, and I think that we've used our personnel very well, week in and week out, to give ourselves the best chance to be successful. And we've started to develop some good depth, and some young guys have stepped up. A guy like Tyler Davis has come in here and really just been a huge blessing for us. I mean, you lose the guys that we lose, and somebody's got to step up, and he's definitely been a guy that, we knew Nyles and Jordan were back, and those guys at the end that played a little bit last year. But, KJ's coming on, Maskell's coming on, and now, the addition of Tyler has been a huge benefit for us.
Given that, are you surprised that when people talk about you, it seems like the first thing they go to is whatever they think about your offense? And that given that they've exceeded expectations on that side of the ball, people do seem to be ignoring a little bit how good your defense has been?
Yeah, and even our offense, we're right where we were last year, and ahead in several areas, about the same in a few and a little behind in a couple. But, I just think that people have, I guess they think we're just supposed to score every time we get the ball and never turn it over and never drop a pass and make every block, and it's just not that's not reality. But offensively, we're in a great spot. We're in a really good spot, and then I think that a lot of people have missed the boat on our defense. Done a great job. The story coming into the year was, we're not going to be very good, and there's no way you can replace, all these guys. And the story was about who's not here, and our defense has really done a great job. They really have, and it's been strength in numbers. That, just like we said coming in, it's been strength in numbers. Not a lot of superstars up front yet, but a group of guys that are collectively getting the job done. And our strength, playing to our strength on the back seven, has served us well. And then offensively, we've done a lot of good things, but it seems like anytime we do anything bad, that's all anybody wants to focus on. Just want to focus on the bad. We've done a lot of good. Trevor throws 2 interceptions, and that's all you see on ESPN. You don't see 20 of 29 and 3 touchdowns, and you don't see the good stuff. So that's just kind of comes with the territory. We just keep on plugging.
Dabo, so many of your guys have openly talked about how they're perfectionists. Yesterday we heard Trevor talking about all the pressure that they face on a national scale. How much do you discuss with your players the mental and emotional side of the game, especially at this point in the season?
Every day, every single day, we talk about. I think any good coach, you're gonna touch on all aspects of the game. The game's way more than just physical. The mental part of the game is probably as big a part of the game as anything. We touch on all aspects, developing the mindset that you have to to be successful, week in and week out is a huge part of coaching. I mean, that's a huge part. You got to get your plan down. You got the physical part, but the mental part, the mindset, week in and week out, is critical. But so we connect with them emotionally every day.
All right, as we conclude here, wanted to issue one quick congratulations. As many of you all have seen since we've been sitting here, Kelly Gramlich has since been announced as the newest women's basketball analyst for the ACC Network. So congratulations for Clemson Athletics.
How about that? So she's the Eric McLean for the women's basketball?
She can judge your game a little bit. She's seen.
Oh, so you're an analyst. I probably we have cameras at our house, so I probably have some, I'm about to go back. You could analyze our horse game. You could analyze that. That's great. Congrats. That is awesome. You got to move?
No.
Oh, you don't have to move?
No.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. That's great.
Congrats, Kelly, and everybody. Thank you for joining us. In addition to our players, Levon Kirkland will be available downstairs today, so be prepared for that.
And what is text Dabo?
Dabo to 41444.
Text Dabo to 41444. DABO. Thank you.